What's up, YouTube? Lawler here as always. We've got officially the roster transfer window closed for North America. We're going to focus only on North America in this video because NA is wrapped up. Like they have to be submitted. But EU open qualifier teams that can sign up, still have a week. So we're going to wait on them until next week. NA only here. Easily the best way to follow along is obviously my roster document. Check it out in the description or come stop by the stream. We've got a bunch of friends in chat hanging out with us. !point RLCS rosters for them. We will update this accordingly. There's a bunch of stuff for us to go over. The way this video is going to work, we're going to go over the new roster changes that have been confirmed. We're then going to go through the entire roster list one by one, talking about changes, iterations, and then we're going to talk about some of the other weirdness that is happening alongside it. So first things first, rosters to talk about. Confirmation is here. Justin and Reddles firm handshake swap inside. So Justin is leaving Shopify Rebellion and joining Gen G, and Reddles is leaving Gen G and going to Shopify Rebellion. Pretty straightforward, firm handshakes. If you guys want to know my thoughts and opinions and stuff on that, we'll reiterate here towards the tail end of the video, or check out my previous video when we talked about kind of how we thought things were going to go. We'll touch on that later. The big one as well, JNAPS, he did announce his retirement after he was done with Pioneers and has now been brought in as an assistant coach with Shopify Rebellion, which I think is pretty dope. He can be like, hey man, I've been there, I've done that. Listen to me. I'm going to help encourage on how to go about this. This is the stuff we did with G2. But it's still also going to take time for JNAPS to learn how to coach and how to be a role model in that regard. Respect to memory, not being intimidated. But I think there is something to be said about having teams with multiple coaches or assistant coaches. If we're going to take Rocket League seriously, you need staff that can actually help, between a mental coach, a replay analysis coach, in-game coach, things of those natures. But do we even have enough coaches to justify that? That's a different story. So very excited for JNAPS. Big fan of JNAPS. Happy to see him find a spot and a home. Shopify Rebellion will take very good care of him. So that's dope. Up next, this has been the big talking point and the big conversation. We have a team that has been announced in 9 Lives. I told you guys, and I kind of broke the news with talking with Zanil. He was trying out with Common Talk. He did have a last-minute tryout with 9 Lives. To my knowledge, it was against the Ultimates, and it went very well. So 9 Lives decided to pull the trigger and say, hey, man, we're offering you the spot. Chicago Hawkstar and Zanil signed up for 9 Lives. That is going to be probably your best chance of making a major team outside of signed teams. If anything, I think this team probably has a better chance over New Shopify and over New Gen G. We'll have to see how it plays out, though. But from the scrims that I have watched of this team, good potential. I think this team has some pretty solid potential. It's tough to make an assessment, though, when it's their first time playing together. So very excited to see what this looks like. Very excited to see how this one plays out. Because of that, with Com and Talk, they are now left without a third. Okay? They do not have a third player. This is the day before signups. And the difficulty with this is there is some things you have to think about as a player, both when you are a veteran and when you are more of a rookie. This is Talk's essentially second season. This is when he is supposed to be going through the refinement. This is when he is supposed to be learning. He is supposed to be learning about what it is like to play at a high level so he can start to become acclimated to what is the expectations of an RLCS player. And I say this with all the love of my heart. He is not there yet. Like, Talk's good. Talk's very good, but he is very unrefined. He makes a lot of mistakes. He doesn't trust in himself or his teammates yet. And that is something that takes time to learn because he's only been playing ranked. And he doesn't understand that teammate is going to rotate back preemptively. He is going to trust you to move forward, and you have to trust him to move back to cover for you. That stuff is a habit that is very tough to break. You are playing preemptive Rocket League. It is a different level of game at the high level. I am preemptively going to a play where you can pass me the ball because I trust that you're going to hit it. People don't do that in ranked. Very rarely until you get into a very high MMR. And now if you're in that MMR, you're just getting DDoSed anyway, so it doesn't matter. But it takes time to do that and then learn the pressures of playing in the RLCS as well against other high-profile players that you have looked up to that you now have to look at as an equal. Takes time. So for Talk to say, hey, I'm sitting out because we can't find a suitable third, I kind of have some concerns with, and a lot of people have made that statement as well. Talk is basically stating like, hey, unless we're winning, unless we're going and competing top 16s and doing stuff, I just don't think it's worth it. I think it's just not going to be enjoyable. And I do agree to an extent. And this is where I focus on the calm side of things, because calm also got a lot of flack for this. The difference with calm is calm has been playing in this league for a very long time. And if he starts playing with lesser viewed players, the rank X, the rank A's, old washed up pros, whatever, people are going to be like, oh, that's the quality of player you are now. They're going to associate you with your peers. And if he doesn't keep winning, or if he can't carry them to further and further results, people are going to write him off. Double-edged sword is probably the better way of saying it. And Mertzy brings it up in chat. Like, can you tell me how many players have taken a off split or like an off season and come back stronger, or come back and found a new roster? Because the answer is none. I don't think I've ever seen a player take a little bit of time off, come back, and have a resurgence. So I think this is basically a problematic situation for Calm in that regard. And then the other side of that as well with Calm is that if he associates with those people, you got to understand what that's going to do to him. If he plays with a lesser team when he is used to the expectation of we have a chance to make the major. Again, just a season ago with JNAPS and Nolly, he was making majors and world championships. He took a risk on a new up-and-coming player. They took an even bigger risk on Evo, who is known for having some problems, is the best way to say it. They should have went with 5-up, but that's the decision they made. And now it's coming back to bite him. So if he continues to play in the RLCS and they're either performing the same or worse, mentally that's going to take a toll. It is going to be very, very demoralizing. And like, do you really want to grind rank in a game where playing ranked right now is just getting you DDoSed? Do you really want to go into scrims knowing you're never going to win? You're never going to compete? Like, it's going to crush you. So Calm is making the decision mentally. I don't want to associate with lower players because it'll completely write me off. It's going to completely destroy my stock. It's going to destroy my mental. I'm going to focus on me. Focusing on you for 5 months, essentially. Because after the World Championship ends, or whichever teams don't make the World Championship, maybe he plays an LCQ and tries to make a last-ditch effort run with some of the leftovers. Who knows what that's going to look like. So I can understand what Calm is saying, while I understand what the reality is on the other side of that. Okay? As for Talk, I also understand not trying to put stuff together last minute, but he also doesn't have the results or the merits to justify not getting experience. That's my concern. I don't think it's ego. I think this is a team decision. I think he and Calm and everybody talked about this and are like, you know what? We don't find a viable third. I don't want to put together something last minute because it's probably not going to do well. I understand Talk probably should take a little bit more extra fight. And maybe Talk should have joined like Kronovi and Jamaican Coconut or something like that. Done the content side, got some reps with some veteran people that have been there, done that, and try to learn some good habits or something. Maybe help with the mental. But yeah, I think this is a tough one for Talk. I think this one really hurts Talk's stock. He does get the added benefit of people knowing, hey, he's good. He's going to get another shot. Calm, on the other hand, definitely concerning. That's my general opinion of the whole ordeal. I see some things happening on the timeline with their coach, and it's like, JC, stay off the timeline, dude. You're emotional. It's not a good look. You're basically ruining any chances of someone using you as a coach. You're also attacking your former players. Like, just things you shouldn't do. Whether you believe that or not, or whether you know that's frustrating, it's not the point. Be the bigger person. You're supposed to be the adult in the situation. Doing that stuff is not a good look. So across the board, there's been a lot of drama in the past couple days. The reason a lot of people come to these videos is because they don't use Twitter and they don't use Reddit. So this is me telling you, yeah, it's been kind of ugly since the decision has been made. A lot of people with a lot of opinions, some qualified, a lot not. But it's been an interesting development. So again, I don't think there's a perfect answer, but I do think if you're a young player who's trying to develop and build, got to do what you got to do. Calm did try out for another team, and he basically had the spot until someone ended up getting released and then taking it instead. Their players got poached. If I'm a player and I say, hey, I have potential with this team, but this team has potential as well, and they have more all-assist points, Xenial's probably going to go with that option. So it's tough, man. That's the reality of and the nature of this business. It happens. With all that in mind, let's actually talk about the official rosters one by one. We'll get you guys knowing what was, what is. We're going to crush through these real quick because this video has already been long. This is the third and final part of this video. Energy, staying the exact same with Atomic Beast Mode and Daniel as Sathiu's coach. No changes there. Ultimates, exact same. First Killer Chronic LJ, Sad Jr. as coach. Best performing team at the most recent major. Complexity, very likely to replace Razebull with Frosty, who is former SSG. Frosty can speak Spanish. That's probably what they will converse in. My concerns are, where are Frosty's priorities? Is he going to continue to put time, effort, and stuff in, even though we know he is very talented? And then he's also speaking his non-native tongue. Curious to know how that'll go. These guys usually full-time boot camp with Complexity facilities. Curious if Frosty's going to be able to do that as well. Space Station. We already know with no Frosty, they're bringing in Kofor of 9 lives. I'd like to assume that they look pretty similar. Hopefully consistency-wise and efforts-wise, Kofor is more bought in. I would like to assume Space Station helps their consistency with the results, but we know their peak potential is one of the best in NA. So curious to see how they'll do. I would not be surprised if Space Station gets a major spot instead of Complexity or Gen G. Gen G is taking out, as we talked about, Justin in, Reddles out. This has got to be a new formula. The structure that they have built in regards to demos and aggression and all that stuff has to change a little bit. You've now got 3 offensive-minded players. What can you do with it? Excited to find out. Rod, Greg, and Kevpert, I have full faith in. Curious to see on what Gen G looks like. I have no idea what this team is going to be. 9 lives, new adjustment. We've got Zenil in, Kofor out. Early iterations, I can tell you from what I have seen, pretty solid. Good team, good pressure, couple defensive blunders, but I'm going to put that up to lack of communication and just trying to figure each other out because it was very early scrims. Deleted, staying the exact same with Andy, Gyro, and Wavy. And Team Evo staying the same with Speed, Relating Wave, and Arju. A team that had a chance to go to the major, but then completely pooped the bed and choked in Open 3. Shopify, we talked about. Obviously, Justin is out. Now, Reddles is in. Reddles is providing a leadership and a core to Parth and Two-Piece. Many of us believe that we have seen this same song and dance with this duo for way too long. No matter what you change in the iteration, I don't know if it's going to be anything better. Will Reddles, with that vocal leader, be able to push them into a different direction? I would like to hope so. Whether it's going to happen or not, I'm excited to find out. I'm excited to watch these teams for the first time in competition. Do I expect both of them to still go round 5? Yeah. Part of me wants it because the song is too good. Shout out Spaceman and Corelli. Pobe staying the exact same. Omelet disbanded. No idea what's happening with Lion Blaze. Don't know what's happening with Lion Blaze. Gas probably staying the same. Tech, as we just mentioned, are disbanded. Common Talk sitting on the bench doing nothing. Strictly Business has removed Seamus and are now bringing in Eris, former Pioneers. So Eris is now with Ixo and Crispy. And then the last one, The Boys, which is the former Pioneers team with Aqua and Trey as their coach, is now bringing in Percy of Omelet and Evo of Tech. Someone in chat joked that this team should be called What Could Have Been, because all 3 of these players have shown so much potential and so much promise, but just never really lived up to their expectation. Percy had an opportunity to go to G2, turned it down, stayed with Xset. 3 mechanical nuts. Maybe they can find some way to make it work. Because I think if Percy can enable Evo and Aqua, just going to put it out there, I want to avoid this team at all costs in bracket play. Like, if I run to this team, I would like to assume my structure, my like foundational play is going to be able to beat them with the system. But like, I know this is a wild card team and they can play upset. So we'll see how it goes. That's what we have. North America RLCS 2025 rosters for Split 2. If I missed anything, let me know in the comments. Any questions you guys have, let me know down there. But yeah, I think the talk conversation is probably going to dictate everything for a while. Maybe we see some of these teams drop off, and then we see a new forming for the last chance qualifiers for NA in a few months' time. Who knows? Anyway, that's what I got. Any questions, let me know down below. Check out the roster document in the description. Hit the socials, join the Discord, join us on stream. We'd love to have you. That's going to do it for today's video. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.